So since we're studying biology, we should probably define what biology is. So if we break down the word biology, bio means life and ology means the study of. So biology literally means the study of life. And because of evolution, there are lots and lots of different species that we can study in biology. So what exactly is life? How do we know what's alive? So you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty easy. We can look at something and we know it's alive. But for some things, it's a little bit harder to tell if they're alive or not. So if you look at a virus, is that alive or is it not? And viruses are kind of a gray area. So there's some debate over whether they're alive or not among scientists. Scientists actually came up with some characteristics that all living things do. So let's take a look at those. So all living organisms are going to do all of these things. So organisms will consist of either one cell or maybe they will consist of many cells like us, for example. They will be highly ordered. They respond to environmental stimuli. They reproduce, grow and develop. They use energy. They maintain homeostasis, and they're evolutionarily adapted to their environments. So let's just take a look at some pictures of the characteristics of life to explain them. So as we said, all organisms that are alive will consist of at least one cell or maybe many cells like we are. Another thing is they're highly ordered. So for us, for example, we have trillions of cells and they're actually going to be organized into tissues, and then those tissues are organized into organs, and then the organs are organized into organ systems, and then you finally get to us as an organism. So we're pretty organized. Organisms also will be very well adapted through evolution to their environment. So you can see, for example, this seahorse looks very similar to the coral that it lives among. And that makes it so it blends in really well and is not noticed by the predators. And then it can survive and reproduce, and that makes it very well adapted to its environment. Organisms also will respond to stimuli. So like this Venus flytrap, when an insect flies in or crawls in, there's little hairs that will respond to the movement and the pressure, and that'll have the Venus flytrap slam shut, and that'll trap the insect, and then it will get digested. Living organisms will also reproduce, make more of their own kind, and then they will also grow and develop. Living organisms also will use energy. So that's why we have to keep eating food, because we need energy to do all the things that we do every day. And they also will maintain homeostasis, which just means that they're going to maintain a constant internal environment. So for example, this jackrabbit needs to maintain a constant body temperature. And so one of the ways it does that to keep cool, for example, is it uses the large surface area of its ears to give off extra body heat to keep itself cool. All right, so this idea of homeostasis is actually really important. We use this in our body as well. So make sure you know the definition of homeostasis. So the word just means to stay the same. Homeo means the same, and stasis means to stay. And it just means that you're going to maintain the internal conditions within a certain range. So we have all kinds of things in our body that we want to maintain in a certain normal range. So like our blood pH, Our fasting blood glucose has to stay in a normal range. Our body temperature has to stay in a normal range too. And even though that the external environmental conditions, those temperatures may change. It might be freezing out, it might be really hot, but our body temperature has to stay between 97 and 99 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's lots of other things that we need to maintain with homeostasis. So for example, the amount of water in our body, our ion concentrations, like the amount of salt, so like sodium ion concentrations, chloride ion concentrations. So there's all kinds of stuff that we need to maintain with homeostasis, blood pressure, so there's all kinds of stuff. So homeostasis is pretty important for us.